I signed the divorce papers without a fight. Gave her the house, the cars, the savings, everything she wanted. My lawyer thought I'd lost my mind. But as I watched her walk away with that satisfied smile, I knew something she didn't. In 6 months, everything she took would destroy her. But before I tell you what happened next, drop a comment below. Where are you watching this from? And what time is it there right now? I want to know how far this story is reaching. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday morning. I remember because Tuesdays were always our day. Coffee on the back deck, reviewing the week ahead. Planning. Except there hadn't been our days in months. Just cold silence in separate bedrooms and the sound of her lawyer's voice on speakerphone behind closed doors. I opened it standing in the kitchen of the rental apartment I'd moved into 3 weeks earlier. Stamped, official, final. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Jennifer Marie Caldwell versus Robert James Caldwell. 16 years reduced to versus. The terms were simple. She wanted everything. The house in Asheville, North Carolina. Both cars, the Audi and the Range Rover. The joint savings account, $87,000. The investment portfolio, another $120,000. My retirement account, half of it anyway, $340,000. Custody of our daughter Emma, 13 years old, with me getting every other weekend. I read it twice. Then I called my lawyer, David Morrison. We'd known each other 20 years. He'd handled my business contracts, helped me incorporate Caldwell Solutions back when it was just me and a laptop. Rob, his voice was careful when I explained. You can't just give her everything. North Carolina is an equitable distribution state. The court will divide assets fairly. You don't have to agree to this. I looked around the rental apartment. 1 bedroom, furnished with thrift store pieces. A coffee maker I'd bought at Target. My laptop on a card table. Draw up the papers, I said. I'm signing. Rob, I'm signing. David, do it. Long pause. This is insane. You built that business. The house, the investments. Those are marital assets, but you owned them. If she's having an affair, if there's fault, we can. No fault. No contest. She gets what she's asking for. Why? I didn't answer. Couldn't explain what I knew. What I'd discovered 6 months ago. What Jennifer had no idea about. Just draw up the papers, I said again. I'll sign whatever she wants. David exhaled into the phone. I'll have them ready by Friday. But Rob, I'm documenting my advice against this. This is financial suicide. Financial suicide. If he only knew. The divorce moved fast after that. Jennifer's lawyer, some barracuda named Patricia Chen, actually seemed confused by my cooperation. She'd prepared for war, armed with demands and threats and leverage. Instead, I showed up to mediation, signed every page, agreed to every term. Mr. Caldwell, Patricia said during our second and final mediation session, I want to confirm you understand what you're agreeing to. You're surrendering the marital home valued at $890,000, both vehicles totaling approximately $110,000, the entire joint savings account, 60% of investment accounts, and half your retirement fund. You'll pay $3,200 monthly in child support and maintain Emma's health insurance. You retain only your business, Caldwell Solutions, and whatever personal property you've already removed from the home. I nodded. That's correct. And you're agreeing to this voluntarily, with full legal representation. I am. She glanced at David, who sat beside me looking like he was attending a funeral. Jennifer sat across the conference table, perfectly composed. Cream-colored suit, hairstyled, that expression she wore when she was winning. Her new boyfriend, Marcus, waited in the parking lot. I'd seen him when I pulled in. Younger than me, expensive car, confident smile. He had no idea either. All right, Patricia shuffled papers. Then we can proceed to final signatures. The whole thing took 40 minutes. 16 years, 2 signatures per page, 40 minutes. Jennifer's hand was steady signing her name. Mine was too. David kept shooting me looks. Warning looks. Are you sure about this looks? I was sure. We walked out separately. Jennifer first, her heels clicking on the tile floor. Confident. Victorious. She'd gotten everything she wanted. I sat in my truck in the parking lot afterward, David beside me. I hope you know what you're doing, he said quietly. I do. She took you to the cleaners, Rob. Everything you built. I started the engine. She took exactly what I wanted her to take. He looked at me sharply. What does that mean? It means in 6 months, she's going to wish she'd never filed those papers. I dropped David at his office and drove back to my apartment. Evening light was falling over Asheville. October, the mountains turning gold and red. Beautiful season. New season. Inside, I opened my laptop and pulled up the file I'd been building for 6 months. The file Jennifer didn't know existed. It started last April. Tax season. I've been going through business receipts in my home office, organizing quarterly statements, when Jennifer came in without knocking. Rob, I need the password for the investment account. I'm reviewing our assets. She'd never cared about finances before. Never asked about accounts or investments or retirement funds. That was my job. I owned it. I managed it. She spent it. That was our arrangement. 16 years of arrangement. Why do you need it? I asked. I just want to understand what we have. Be more involved. Red flag number 1. After 16 years of zero interest, sudden involvement right when our marriage was coldest meant one thing. She was planning her exit, calculating what she could take. I'll write it down for you, I said. That night, after she went to bed, I installed monitoring software on our home computer. Nothing illegal. Perfectly legal spousal monitoring software. I checked with David first. In North Carolina, if you own the computer and provide it for household use, you can monitor it. The software captured everything. Every website visited, every email sent, every document accessed, every password entered. Within a week, I knew Jennifer was having an affair. Marcus Holloway, 38, divorced, commercial real estate developer. They'd met at some charity gala I'd skip because of work. 6 months of secret meetings, expensive hotel rooms charged to his credit card, text messages that made my stomach turn. But I kept reading, kept documenting, because the affair wasn't the interesting part. The interesting part was what Jennifer was planning to do with my business. She'd been talking to Marcus about Caldwell Solutions, about my contracts, my clients, my upcoming projects, about the new software platform I'd been developing for the past 2 years. A revolutionary inventory management system for manufacturing companies. 18 months of development, $400,000 of my own money invested, ready to launch in January. Marcus wanted it, and Jennifer was going to give it to him. I found the emails in May. From Jennifer Caldwell to Marcus Holloway's subject, business plan. Had coffee with Patricia today. She confirmed that in NC divorce, I get half of everything including business assets developed during marriage. Your lawyer was right. The software Rob's developing counts as marital property. Once the divorce is final, I own 50%. We can force a sale or dissolution. That means you can buy my half for pennies on the dollar since Rob will need cash fast to buy me out of the house and accounts. You'll own the software before it even launches. Patricia says it's airtight. He has no idea what's coming. I read it 3 times, sitting in my office at 2 a.m. while Jennifer slept upstairs. Her plan was perfect. Divorce me, take the house and savings and cars. Force me into a position where I'd have to sell my own business just to buy her out. Marcus would buy her half of Caldwell Solutions cheap, then own the software I'd bled for. They'd been planning it for months. Every loving conversation, every let's try counseling suggestion, every moment she pretended we might fix things. All lies. All strategy. She was running out the clock until my software was ready to launch, maximizing its value, then taking half. I sat in the dark for a long time that night, thinking, planning. 2 days later, I made a call. David, I need to restructure my business. Immediately. We met that afternoon. I explained everything. The affair, the emails, Jennifer's plan, Marcus's involvement. She's going to force a sale of the business, I said. Take half in the divorce. Her boyfriend's waiting to buy her share and steal 2 years of my work. David was quiet for a long moment. Show me the emails. I'd printed everything. He read in silence, his expression darkening with each page. This is conspiracy, he said finally. Intentional interference with business. We could fight this. Get an injunctio. No, Rob. I don't want to fight it. I want to give her exactly what she's planning to take. He looked at me like I'd gone insane. You want to let her steal your business. I want her to think she's stealing my business. I explained my plan. Took an hour. David's expression changed from confused to concerned to something like respect. That's diabolical, he said when I finished. That's justice. It'll take months to set up. You'll have to be incredibly careful. I have time. She won't file for divorce until the software is closer to launch. She wants maximum value. And you're sure about this? Once we start, there's no going back. I thought about 16 years. About the woman I'd love becoming someone I didn't recognize. About Marcus's expensive car and hotel rooms and stolen moments. About Jennifer's fake smiles and calculated conversations. I'm sure. We started that week. First, I created a new company. Caldwell Technologies LLC. Separate entity, registered in Delaware, owned entirely by me. I moved the software development project to the new company. All of it. Every line of code, every document, every contract. Caldwell Solutions, the company Jennifer knew about, became a shell. It still existed, still had the original client contracts for consulting and basic software maintenance. But the valuable stuff, the new platform worth millions, that now belonged to Caldwell Technologies, a company Jennifer didn't know existed. This is to be airtight, David stressed. If she discovers Caldwell Technologies before the divorce is final, if there's any proof you moved assets to hide them, a judge will destroy you. She won't discover it. She's not looking for it. She thinks she knows everything. I was careful, obsessively careful. All work on the new platform happened at my office downtown, never at home. All emails went through my personal account, never the joint computer. All payments came from a separate bank account Jennifer had no access to. The software kept developing. By August, it was 90% complete. By September, I had 3 major clients ready to sign contracts the day it launched. Contracts worth $2.3 million in the first year alone. Jennifer had no idea. She was watching Caldwell Solutions, monitoring the business account, reviewing tax returns, calculating her half. She saw a moderately successful consulting firm worth maybe $300,000. She was planning to take $150,000 from me. She had no idea she was planning to take a worthless shell while I built an empire she couldn't touch. In late September, Jennifer finally made her move. Came home from book club, which was really Marcus's apartment, and sat me down for the talk. Rob, we need to discuss our marriage. I'd known it was coming. The monitoring software showed her meeting with Patricia Chen 3 times that month. Okay, I said. I don't think this is working anymore. We've been distant for so long. I think we should separate. Maybe divorce. I acted shocked, hurt, confused. Jennifer, where is this coming from? It's been building for years. You know that. You're always working, never present. Emma barely knows you anymore. That one hurt because it was partially true. I had been working constantly, building something, while Jennifer was in hotel rooms with Marcus. We can try counseling, I said, knowing she'd refuse. I think we're past that. Is there someone else? Her eyes held mine. Steady. Practiced. No, this is about us. About what's best for everyone. Liar. If that's what you want, I said quietly, I won't fight you. Relief crossed her face. Quick. Almost hidden. But I saw it. I think that's mature, Rob. We can do this civilly. For Emma's sake. For Emma's sake. She had no idea I'd already spoken to Emma. 13 years old. Smart as hell. Saw everything. Emma knew about Marcus. Had seen her mother with him at a restaurant when she was supposed to be visiting his sister. Emma hadn't told Jennifer she knew. But she told me. I want to live with you, Dad. Emma had said 3 weeks ago, crying in my arms. When you and Mom split, I want to live with you. The court usually sides with the mother, sweetheart. I don't care. I'm old enough to choose. Mom's different now. She's mean. She doesn't care about anything except herself. I'd held my daughter and promised her it would be okay. That I'd make sure she was okay. The divorce papers arrived 2 weeks after the talk. I signed without fighting. Jennifer got the house, the cars, the accounts, everything visible. Everything she thought mattered. The divorce was final November 3rd. Judge stamped it. Clerk recorded it. Done. Jennifer moved Marcus into the house that same week. I helped Emma move her stuff into my apartment. She got the bedroom. I took the couch. I'm sorry the apartment is small, I told her. I don't care, Dad. I'm just glad to be here. Jennifer had been shocked when Emma chose me. Furious. But Emma was 13. In North Carolina, old enough for her preference to matter. The judge had listened to Emma's testimony in chambers. Private conversation. Whatever Emma said made the judge rule in my favor. Primary custody to me. Jennifer got every other weekend. The reversal was perfect. Sweet. Jennifer had planned to take my daughter and my business. She got neither. But she didn't know about the business part yet. That revelation was still coming. I enrolled Emma in a new school closer to my apartment. She thrived. Happy. Light. Like a weight had lifted. Mom keeps texting me, she said one evening in late November. Asking about your work. What you're doing. If you're seeing anyone. What do you tell her? That you're boring. Just working all the time. Smart kid. December arrived. Cold. Mountain winter settling in. I was working 16-hour days finalizing the software platform. Caldwell Technologies was ready to launch January 15th. 3 major clients signed. Contracts executed. Money ready to flow. Jennifer had no idea. She was living in the house with Marcus. Driving my old Audi. Spending money from the savings account. Happy. Winning. I ran into her at the grocery store December 10th. First time I'd seen her since the divorce finalized. Rob. She looked surprised. Then composed. How are you? Good. You? Great. Marcus and I are actually engaged. Getting married in the spring. I nodded. Congratulations. She studied my face. Looking for hurt, jealousy, regret. Found nothing. Emma's adjusting well, she asked. She's great. Straight A's. Made some new friends. Jennifer's smile tightened. She'd expected Emma to be miserable. Wanted her daughter to miss her. Regret the choice. Come running back. That's good. Tell her I miss her. I will. I turned to leave. Rob. I looked back. I heard you working on some big project. New software or something. There it was. Marcus was digging. Trying to figure out what I was doing. Probably worried I was building something new. Something valuable he'd missed. Just the usual consulting work. Nothing special. She nodded. Relieved. Okay. Good seeing you. I walked away knowing she'd report back to Marcus. Tell him I was struggling. Building nothing. That they'd taken everything that mattered. Perfect. January 15th arrived cold and clear. Launch day. I sat in my real office, the one downtown Jennifer had never visited, and watched the contracts execute. 3 clients. $2.3 million in first-year revenue. Conservative estimates projected $8 million by year 3. $20 million by year 5. Caldwell Technologies was real. Successful. Mine. My phone rang. David Morrison. Congratulations, he said. You're officially a very wealthy man. Not celebrating yet. Why not? Because Phase 2 starts now. Phase 2 was simple. Let Jennifer discover what she'd missed. I didn't have to wait long. 3 weeks after launch, I got a call from Patricia Chen, Jennifer's divorce lawyer. Mr. Caldwell, I need to discuss something with you. Something that's come to my attention regarding asset disclosure during your divorce. Here we go. What's that? It appears you own a company called Caldwell Technologies. A company that wasn't disclosed in divorce proceedings. A company that just signed several $1 million in contracts. I kept my voice calm. That's correct. Mr. Caldwell, failure to disclose marital assets during divorce is fraud. I'm prepared to file. Caldwell Technologies isn't a marital asset. Excuse me. I created the company after my wife and I separated. Used only personal funds, never marital money. Developed all intellectual property after the separation date. It's not subject to equitable distribution. Silence. Long, cold silence. We'll be looking into this. Patricia said finally. If we find any evidence that company was created with marital assets or during the marriage. You won't. I was very careful. Every transaction documented. Every timeline verified. My lawyer has all the records. We'll see about that. She hung up. I called David. Jennifer knows. Right on schedule. How did she sound? Furious. Good. Let her investigate. She'll find exactly what we want her to find. A legitimate company created post-separation. Nothing she can touch. 2 days later, I got a text from Jennifer. First direct contact since the grocery store. You lied. You hid assets. I'm taking you back to court. I didn't respond. 3 days after that, Emma came home from her weekend with Jennifer upset. What happened? I asked. Mom kept asking about your work. Where your office is. What you're doing. She was mean about it. Marcus was there too, yelling, saying you screwed them over. I held my daughter. I'm sorry you had to hear that. Did you screw them over? I looked at Emma. 13 years old. Old enough for truth. Your mother and Marcus planned to take my business in the divorce. Forced me to sell it to him for almost nothing. I found out and protected what I built. That's all. Emma thought about this. Good. I'm glad you didn't let them. Smart kid. My kid. Jennifer filed a motion to reopen the divorce case. Claimed I'd hidden assets. Demanded forensic accounting. Wanted half of Caldwell Technologies. David filed our response. 300 pages of documentation. Bank statements showing Caldwell Technologies funded entirely post-separation. Development timelines proving all work happened after the marriage ended. Email records demonstrating the project began after Jennifer filed for divorce. The hearing was scheduled for March 15th. I showed up with David in a banker's box full of evidence. Jennifer showed up with Patricia Chen, Marcus Holloway, and rage barely contained behind a professional mask. Judge Rebecca Harrison presided. 60s, sharp, impatient with bullshit. Patricia presented her case first. Your Honor, Mr. Caldwell deliberately hid a valuable business asset during divorce proceedings. While claiming he had limited income and assets, he was developing software worth millions. This is textbook fraud. Judge Harrison looked at me. Mr. Caldwell. David stood. Your Honor, we have comprehensive evidence that Caldwell Technologies was created 4 months after the parties separated. Every dollar invested came from Mr. Caldwell's personal account, funded by his salary from Caldwell Solutions, which was properly disclosed and divided in the divorce. Every development hour happened post-separation. Every contract was signed post-divorce. This business didn't exist during the marriage. Mrs. Caldwell has no claim to it. I'd like to see this evidence. We spent 3 hours going through documentation, bank records, email timestamps, development logs, client meeting schedules. Everything proved the same thing. Caldwell Technologies began after the marriage ended. Judge Harrison reviewed it all in silence. Finally looked up. Ms. Chen, do you have evidence contradicting any of this? Patricia shuffled papers. Your Honor, the sophisticated nature of the software suggests development took longer than Mr. Caldwell claims. He must have been working on this during the marriage. Do you have proof? The circumstantial evidence. I'm asking for proof. Documentary evidence. Testimony. Anything beyond speculation. Patricia looked at Jennifer. Jennifer looked at Marcus. Marcus looked furious. We're still investigating, Patricia said. In other words, no. Judge Harrison closed the file. Mr. Caldwell has provided exhaustive documentation that this business was created post-separation using non-marital funds. Mrs. Caldwell has provided speculation. Motion denied. Jennifer stood. Your Honor, he planned this. He knew we were getting divorced and deliberately. Mrs. Caldwell. Judge Harrison's voice was ice. Your ex-husband protected assets during a separation. That's prudent, not fraudulent. If roles were reversed, I'd tell you to do the same. Motion denied. We adjourned. The gavel struck. Jennifer stayed at me across the courtroom. Pure hatred. Marcus whispered something to Patricia. None of it mattered. I'd won. Outside the courthouse, David stopped me. Rob, they're going to keep digging. Patricia won't let this go. Let them dig. They'll find exactly what we've shown them. A legitimate business, properly timed, legally protected. And if they find something, they won't, because there's nothing to find. I drove back to my apartment where Emma was waiting. Homework spread across the card table. She looked up when I entered. How did it go? 1. Your mom can't touch the business. Emma smiled. Good. You worked hard for that. Yes, I had. 2 months passed. Spring arrived. The mountains bloomed. Caldwell Technologies signed 2 more clients. Revenue projections increased. I moved Emma and myself into a small house. 3 bedrooms, yard, normal place. Nothing fancy, but ours. Emma decorated her room, made friends in the neighborhood, joined the soccer team, thrived. Jennifer stopped reaching out. The weekend visits became tense, awkward. Marcus was usually there, sulking. Their engagement fell apart in April. Too much stress, I heard. Through mutual friends. Too much disappointment. He'd expected to buy cheap software rights and become wealthy. Got nothing instead. Jennifer was stuck in the house. Large house. Expensive house. She demanded it in the divorce, calculating she could afford it with the savings and my child support. But she hadn't accounted for property taxes, maintenance, utilities. 8 months after the divorce, she was drowning in expenses. I heard through Emma that Jennifer was considering selling. She keeps complaining about money, Emma said. Says the house is too expensive. But she won't sell because she doesn't want you to know she's struggling. Pride. Expensive pride. In June, exactly 8 months after the divorce finalized, Jennifer called me directly. Rob. Her voice was strained. Can we talk? About Emma. What about her? Just, can we meet? Coffee. We met at a neutral location. Cafe downtown. Jennifer looked tired. Thinner. The Range Rover she'd taken in the divorce sat in the parking lot with a crack in the windshield she hadn't fixed. Thank you for meeting me, she said when I sat down. I waited. I wanted to discuss Emma's expenses. Her school fees, activities, medical costs. The child support you're paying doesn't cover everything and I'm struggling. You got $87,000 in savings and half the investments. That was 8 months ago. The house is expensive. I didn't realize how expensive. You demanded that house. She looked down. I know. I thought things would be different. You thought Marcus would support you. But he left when he realized he wasn't getting my business. Her head snapped up. You don't know. I know everything. Jennifer. I've known since April. About the affair, the plan to force me to sell Caldwell Solutions, Marcus's scheme to buy it cheap. I knew before you filed for divorce. Color drained from her face. How? I'm not stupid. You got sloppy. Email trails. Phone records. I documented everything. Then why didn't you fight? Because I knew something you didn't. The business you were planning to take was worthless. The real value was in something you had no idea existed. Understanding dawned slowly. Horror following close behind. You set me up. I protected myself. There's a difference. You let me take the house, the cars, the savings. Made me think I was winning, while you built a new company behind my back. After we separated, using my own money, perfectly legal, your lawyer confirmed it. The judge confirmed it. You got exactly what you asked for. Jennifer, everything you saw. You just didn't see everything. She was shaking, hands trembling around her coffee cup. I can't afford the house, Rob. Can't afford any of it. I need help. Sell it. I'll lose money. Market's down right now. Should have considered that before demanding it in the divorce. Please, for Emma's sake. Emma's with me. She's fine. She's happy. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. Real ones this time, not the calculated performances I'd watched for months during the divorce. I made mistakes, she whispered. I know that. Marcus was a mistake. The divorce was a mistake. Yes. Can't you help me? Some kind of loan. I looked at the woman I'd been married to for 16 years. Mother of my daughter. Person I'd loved once. Maybe still loved in some broken way. No, Rob. You made your choices, Jennifer. You chose Marcus. Chose the affair. Chose to try stealing my business. Chose to demand everything in the divorce. Those were your choices. Now live with them. I stood. Wait. She grabbed my arm. Just tell me, did you ever love me? Or was this whole thing revenge? I looked down at her hand on my arm. She let go. I loved you until I found those emails. Until I realized you were willing to destroy me financially to start over with Marcus. After that, I shook my head. After that, I just wanted to survive. And I did. By letting you take exactly what you wanted while protecting what actually mattered. I walked out. Jennifer sold the house 3 months later. Lost $40,000 in the sale. Had to downsize to an apartment smaller than mine. Traded the Range Rover for a used sedan. Got a job at a marketing firm. Entry level. The first real job she'd had in 15 years. I heard this through Emma, who reported it matter-of-factly. No judgment. Just observation. Is Mom going to be okay? Emma asked. Eventually. People adapt. Do you feel bad about how things turned out? I thought about that question. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. Your mother tried to take everything from me. My business, my daughter, my future. She failed. That's not my fault. She's still my mom. I know. And you should love her. Visit her. Have a relationship with her. But what happened between her and me? That's separate. Emma nodded. Understood. Caldwell Technologies grew. By the end of the first year, revenue hit $4.2 million. By year 2, $9.8 million. I hired staff. Moved into real office space. Built something substantial. Emma graduated middle school at the top of her class. Started high school confident and happy. Jennifer's weekend visits became more regular again. Less tense. She'd accepted reality. Built a new life. Smaller life. Humbler life. But functional. We weren't friends. Would never be friends. But we learned to co-parent civilly. 2 years after the divorce, I ran into Marcus at a business conference. He saw me, turned and walked the other direction. Smart move. I didn't chase him. Didn't gloat. He'd lost Jennifer. Lost the business opportunity. Lost everything he'd schemed for. That was punishment enough. 3 years after the divorce, on a Thursday evening, I was cooking dinner with Emma when she asked, Dad, would you ever get married again? I don't know. Maybe. If I found the right person. Someone different from Mom. Very different. She smiled. Good. I thought about the journey. The discovery of betrayal, the careful planning, the strategic surrender that was actually protection, the divorce, the revelation, the victory. Had it been worth it? Giving up the house, the cars, the savings. Watching Jennifer think she'd won while I built something she'd never touch. Yes, absolutely yes. Because in the end, Jennifer got exactly what she deserved. Not revenge, not cruelty. Just consequences. Natural consequences of her choices. She'd wanted everything. Took everything she could see. Never imagined there was more she couldn't see. More I'd protected. More I'd built while she celebrated her victory. The best part, it was all perfectly legal. No fraud, no hidden assets, no violations. Just strategic timing and careful planning. Jennifer had thought she was smarter than me. Thought I was too trusting, too focused on work to notice her scheming. She was wrong. I was focused on work. Building Caldwell Technologies. Protecting my future. Planning 3 moves ahead while she planned 1. And when the dust settled, when the divorce was final and the business was launched and the truth came out, she learned an important lesson. Taking everything is easy. Knowing what you're actually taking is hard. 4 years after the divorce, Caldwell Technologies was valued at $34 million. I'd built an empire from nothing while Jennifer struggled in her apartment, driving her used sedan, working her entry-level job. Sometimes I wondered if she thought about it. About that moment she demanded everything in the divorce. About signing those papers with confidence, sure she was taking me for all I was worth. About the business I built that she never saw coming. I didn't feel guilty. Didn't feel bad. She'd made her choice. I'd made mine. The difference was, I'd made my choice with complete information while she'd made Hayes blind. That wasn't my fault. Emma asked me once, do you think Mom regrets it? Probably. Do you? I looked at my daughter. Honor roll student, varsity soccer player, kind, smart, happy. Looked at the business I'd built, the life I'd created, the peace I'd found. Not even a little bit. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just letting people live with their choices while you live with yours. Jennifer chose betrayal and greed. I chose protection and patience. She got everything she asked for. I got everything that mattered. And in the end, that made all the difference. 5 years after the divorce, I stood in my new home office, looking at the wall where I'd hung my company's mission statement. Emma's graduation photo from 8th grade sat on my desk. Outside the window, the North Carolina mountains stretched into the distance. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I saw your company in the news. The acquisition offer. $50 million. Congratulations. You earned it. Jennifer. Still watching. Still calculating. Probably wondering what her half would have been worth if I'd been stupid enough to let her have it. $25 million. That's what she'd thrown away when she chose Marcus and greed over honesty and partnership. I deleted the text without responding. Some people spend their whole lives looking for the big win, the perfect scheme, the clever angle that gets them everything they want. Jennifer had tried that, planned it carefully, executed it precisely, and walked away with exactly what I wanted her to have. Nothing that mattered. I'd spent my life building, creating, working, and when betrayal came, I didn't fight it. I adapted, protected, planned better, let them take the house, the cars, the savings. Let them think they'd won, while I built an empire they couldn't touch. That's the lesson. Not about divorce or betrayal or revenge. About the difference between taking and building. Between schemes and strategy. Between what looks valuable and what actually is. Jennifer took everything. She just didn't realize she was taking my past while I built my future. And 5 years later, sitting in my home office with a $50 million acquisition offer on my desk, I understood something fundamental. The best victory isn't destroying your enemy. It's building something so successful they destroy themselves with regret. Looking back at this true story, I realized the lesson came at a high price. 16 years of marriage, gone. A family, broken. Trust, shattered. But I also learned something valuable. Sometimes protecting yourself means letting people think they've won while you rebuild somewhere they can't see. If you're facing betrayal, facing divorce, facing someone trying to take everything you've built, remember this. They can only take what they know exists. And sometimes the smartest move isn't fighting for what's visible. It's protecting what they can't see. Jennifer taught me that. Not on purpose, but the lesson stuck anyway. Protect yourself first. Document everything. Trust your instincts. And when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Then build something better. Something they never saw coming. That's not revenge. That's survival. That's justice. And sometimes, that's exactly enough. Did you like this story? Drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts. Your support means everything. On the screen, you can see 2 more life stories I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next story.